I originally came from a hockey background. I played international hockey at quite a young age, Scottish schoolgirls right through to seniors. When I gave up international hockey, I was looking for something different, and that's when I got into triathlon. Not that long after I got into triathlon, we realised that there wasn't very many female coaches in triathlon at that time, especially in Scotland, maybe about a handful. And I started to get into coaching. So as well as racing, I was coaching at that point. As I got older, I decided that the racing maybe wasn't for me and started to coach more, do quite a bit of coaching within Edinburgh Road Club, my club, and then started working with Scottish squads. Developed on with Scottish squads and got invited down to quite a few British training camps and coached there. After 15 years of coaching, I gave up Scottish and I'm now head coach at Edinburgh University.
What leadership skills do you need to be a good coach?
First skills I would say is communication skills. It's a really big skill to have. Being able to talk to people and being able to be open enough for people to want to talk to you and tell them they can tell you what's going on right and what's not working for them. That's a really big thing. Sometimes coaches go in and they just don't get any feedback at all, and because they don't get any feedback at all, they think everything they're doing is right. Along with that, it's on the communication side, it's knowing your athletes and knowing when your athletes want to talk and they don't want to talk. The other example I've got is being prepped. The other good skill is being prepped so that you can go on and be prepped and you can lead by example by things like being on time, have your session written down, knowing exactly what you're doing. And then the last one I would say is by people management skills. And by that, I mean sort of treating people equally, treating everybody fair, giving everybody the same amount of time, and also being willing to listen to everybody through your communication skills. And by that way, you can actually get more from your squads and from individuals.
What leadership skills have you developed during your time as a coach?
One of the biggest things I would say would be that looking after yourself as a coach and a leader. If you don't look after yourself as a coach and a leader and you keep volunteering and you keep doing things and you get sucked into the system, you're not then giving the best to your athletes and to your fellow coaches around about you. The other thing I would say is actually telling people what my expectations are. What do I want to get from my athletes? What do I want other coaches to do? Because sometimes coaches don't explain what they want other coaches to do, and then they end up having to take it over. And again, that becomes that looking after yourself and taking on too much and putting yourself under too much pressure. So that you need to actually hand that out to other people and tell them what you want them to do. Otherwise, they think you just want to do it all constantly and all the time, and that's when you get put under too much pressure.
Who are the leaders in the coaching community you look up to and why?
First of all, was probably the first head coach that I worked with. I worked with quite a few head coaches at Triathlon Scotland, but the one that I felt took the biggest interest in me was Darren Smith when he joined Triathlon Scotland in 2000. And he was the first one to make me think about what I was doing as a coach and to make me actually analyse what I was doing as a coach, which I now find really, really important. The other one is a girl that I used to work with, a girl called Vicky Mccann, who was in a sport that was totally male-dominated of bodybuilding. And she was a massive bodybuilder and had next to no other females round about her in the world of bodybuilding. She then went on to actually develop her own federation, which is the British National Bodybuilding Federation, which she runs. So not only is she in a minority in a big sport, which is male dominated, but she actually now is the big boss of that big sport, which is dominated. And she competes all over the world and has won world championships and is a real role model within sport for women all over in all different sports.
So how important is it that we encourage young students to develop their leadership skills through triathlon?
It's vastly important. These young kids that we're making let become coaches, they are the future of our sport. Old croggies like me are definitely on the way out, whereas they're the up and coming future of the sport. we need to give them the confidence and the skills to be able to stand in front of people and coach. And we need to have good, strong leaders within that. And we really need to develop them. It's quite often we need to approach them because they'll stand on poolside and they'll worry about whether what they're doing is right or wrong. So as senior coaches and senior leaders, we need to actually go to them and tell them what they're doing right, give them a little bit of advice on how they could get better or how they could spot something. We just need to nurture these people and let them develop into the good young leaders and coaches that we can get from them.